What's up, everyone? This is Ray Baguio, and you're listening to Digitally Matters, a podcast for anything digital that really matters to you and your business. Let's start the show. In today's episode, I am joined by Steph Francisco. Steph is a digital marketing consultant and also a digital marketing instructor. She shares the knowledge, experiences, skills, and expertise she has acquired to brands and individuals for their digital marketing needs. However, one of her goals is to also educate and mentor the new breed of digital marketers on real life applications in the digital landscape. Welcome to the podcast, Steph.
Thank you, Ray. That's a very overwhelming introduction. But yes, that's one of my objectives, objectives in life. Like my goal, personal advocacy, to be able to share my knowledge, my experiences to these new breed of digital marketers that we have today.
That's good. That's good. So, I'll just get on asking you some questions. I'm really interested to learn more about you. I've seen you on LinkedIn, and I've been seeing your content, and they're really good stuff. So this time, I would like to dig deeper into who really you are, and get to know your background, of course. And how did you get into digital marketing, by the way?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a graduate of marketing corporate communications, okay, from San Beda College, well, university now.
Mhm.
And then for every step, or I would say like for every field in marketing, I have gone through it, like customer servicing, sales, yeah, client servicing, accounts management, business development. I've also gone through it until internet was starting to pick up. So internet marketing was starting to pick up, let's say at around 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And because 2007, 2008, social media was still, was on the rise pa lang. And then
Mhm.
brands weren't that active yet on social media. So they started to pick up, yeah, at about after 2010. And then what I did was I got myself active in these platforms, starting with Friendster and Multiply, and then now we got Facebook, and then until today that we now have TikTok. I'm even active on TikTok. So
Oh.
what I do is in order for me to be able to, express or get a grasp of how these platforms work, how their algorithms work, how can brands be visible on these platforms, I need to experience it myself.
Ah.
So yeah, so I don't rely basically on just article reading, or I don't rely on theories, but I need to get a first-hand experience.
Oh, okay. So you need to get your hands dirty first before you can even share or even teach what you learn,
Yes,
right? Not just
yes.
the resources out there. Yeah, that's actually a good
Mhm.
strategy. And as I was looking at your profile, though, I found this interesting information about you. You were a club promoter for a certain club back in 2011. Is that right?
Yeah, that's well, on the personal side, I love going to parties. I'm a very outgoing person. So
I
I would even like literally live in a club from Wednesdays till Saturdays. So I'm a club rat back. I was a club rat back then. And then until I got to meet, the management of the clubs.
Mhm.
So these clubs were actually clubs located in Makati and BGC, and then yeah, also from Resorts World. And then since I've been in marketing, these management came up to me and they go, I see you every day, and I see you with all sorts of crowd coming in, so why not just like maybe we can do a partnership, we can promote for the club, then this is what you get in return. And then yeah, so I was offered a paycheck.
That's nice. That's nice. So
Mhm.
really being paid for something that you're passionate or really interested in. That's actually a good way to start something, getting paid for your passion, right? This is
Yes,
up
yes.
to do for themselves as well. They say it's
So I,
different.
So I get to party, I get free booze, and I get a paycheck out of it. So how cool can it get? I was like living a life of a rock star back then.
Nice, nice. And now you got into digital marketing. But the good thing about it is, though, I can see some kind of relationship or alignment in terms of what you did, what you were interested doing as a club promoter, and seeing you
Mhm.
digital marketing, social media, and all that stuff. It really correlates. I mean, I can see the trend. It's not like it's a huge jump, but it
Mhm.
is a huge there's actually a huge how do you call this a link between the two. I mean, you
Yes,
want to socialize, you want to engage with people, and that's what digital marketing, especially social media, is actually should be doing for those who are doing marketing through these platforms, right?
exactly. Yeah. Even when I was a promoter back then, I mean, what was the best way to start promoting for a club for people whom you do not know, and how to reach out to prospective VIPs, new clients, get leads?
Mhm.
The best way was social media. I mean, there wasn't any way for me to meet new people. Not unless if I would like hang out in Starbucks and then go to the customers' tables and then just like pitch in and hey, you want to go clubbing and then let's go party. It doesn't work that way. So
Ah,
what I did was this is where I was actually able to learn about the strengths of communities in social media. So even back then, communities were already a thing. Community management, community marketing was already a thing. And then I didn't know that I was already doing the strategy, which was link building, that I would be messaging or I'll be joining this communities of party goers,
mm,
clubbers, yeah, located in here in Metro Manila. So I was like being strategic at first. Those who were like around the vicinity of the club that I was promoting,
mhm.
and this market, like even travelers, travelers would always love to go like night, would like the nightlife, right, or nightlife. And then yeah, so I would be leaving messages on the communities. I would be sharing how the party is at this certain club, and then later on people would start sending me messages, and then they will say, okay, hi Steph, I'd like to get into this club, maybe you can help me out. So that's how I get to start to build it. Then eventually, these people that I was able to bring to the club, well, aside from doing everything online, there was also a touch of offline efforts. So I
Mm.
had to make sure, or I was making sure that they get to enjoy the party. So I would like stay for a while at their table, accommodate being like a VIP host. And then when I see that the club starts uploading photos of this group that I was able to bring in, and then I get to add them up on, we get connected on social media or particularly on Facebook, that I would tag at least one photo to them or
Mm.
send them a link to this photo, and then they will get this like VIP feel. So it's all about making the customer feel that they are important and providing the convenience. So that's what I was able to apply from offline to online.
That's interesting. Because one takeaway can I got from shared is, even if it's prior prior to launching or prior to launching something like, to say, an event, you're also, and until the end of the event, you still follow up with uh with the customers or the audience. I can see one, how do you call this, one key factor that makes it really effective for those who would want to also apply this in their digital marketing efforts, which is customer experience. Before you, from what you shared, before you promote the club, I believe you would also want to get the audience to, or it would be vital for you to know the feel of the audience and who to target, so that they can, when they go to the event, their expectations will be met. And during and after the event, or whatever party that is, you
Mhm.
sure that their experience still sticks and you are still top of mind. I mean, they can still relinquish or reminisce of what happened and enjoy their experiences, right? So that's how you
Yeah.
them to whatever you're doing. Let's say in this case, in that case, the event. Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct. And I even experienced, I had VIPs, these expats, even when their contract is done here in the Philippines,
Mhm.
and then they will go back to whichever country they're from. And then whenever they decide to come back here to the Philippines for like a short vacation, a quick vacation, they would still link to me. They would still, I mean, not really hook up, they would still connect with me.
That's
And,
that's
like say, Steph, I'm here in the Philippines. Maybe we can go out, let's say a Friday night. You can hook me up with this club, or can you help me get to this club? I got my friends with me, so I get to retain that relationship with the VIPs, but regardless of whatever or whoever the customers are, I would always treat them as a VIP, even if this is just a guest lister. Even if they did not reserve for a table, I would still treat them as a VIP. That's how I get to maintain that relationship.
that's nice. So you get paid for doing that gig or that event or
Mm-hmm.
promoting that event, and also by doing it the way you do it or you did it back then, you're also able to grow your audience or your network even outside,
Yes.
even after years or months after the event is over, is done, right? That's
Yeah,
actually
yeah, that is great. That is why I was able to, I had my clubbing life. I had a rock star life for about 5 years. It lasted that long. My clubbing experience lasted that long.
okay. Good thing that you mentioned that because I was about to ask you, but wait, you started free back in 2010 and
Hmm.
for 8 years. So does this also mean, is it safe to assume that your target audiences or target clients are into the clubbing business or industry? So I think you answered that. Or am I right?
Yeah, well, these VIPs I was able to acquire back then are mostly expats who also has businesses. So
Oh,
it's either they're here for a business trip, or they're here for like an employment contract for a month, for a matter of, let's say, for a while, 6 months minimum,
mm,
and then they would get back to the country. Or others would have like offshoring businesses, and then they would come up to me, and then since getting along or getting to know your client, sometimes they would also ask questions about me, like what is it that I actually do. I mean, they wouldn't believe it if I would say I'm just like clubbing, right? So they would, yeah, they would be asking me, so what is it that you really do? I mean, it looks like that you're here just for fun.
mm,
Okay, so I would tell them my background, and then I would say, yeah, I'm into marketing, and then right now I'm working on social media, and then until I get to land consultancy projects with them. So there was a time that I even managed, let's say, 5 or 7 social media accounts, fan pages, particularly Facebook fan page for their businesses.
nice, nice. So
Yeah, so that's how it all started with me getting into digital.
that's cool. Okay, so you've been doing digital marketing for quite some time now, 8 to 10 years already, right?
Yes.
2018, yeah. So I would like to think that you've already learned a lot about how things are going, what sticks, what will go, or what is just like a trend for this year, and then afterwards it will just be history, and what strategies or tactics are basic or fundamental for a certain campaign or initiative to really be successful. So I am sure that you already have that sort of, how do you call this, acumen, or you can already spot what strategies or tactics would work, not just for the industry, but for each of the clients you handle or you take,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes, that is correct. Because like for every client, there's this customized servicing that you are to offer, or a specific strategy that can be applied. Every strategy is going to be applied to all clients. But yeah, having that experience, I am now able, I can somehow tell or forecast like this was a common question that I've been receiving from clients. Do you think TikTok would last long, or how long will TikTok be here in the Philippines?
Ah,
So I can tell them right then and there, well, TikTok is here. It's gonna be here for quite some time. Aside from the articles that has been, has been published, that some were saying that TikTok may surpass Instagram. But yeah, it is possible because of the growing audience that they're having here in the Philippines right now. So yeah, I guess I am able to, somehow get to forecast if this strategy would be applicable or not, if it would be access or what should be the necessary initiatives to apply for a certain campaign.
hmm. From what you observed, have you seen any new or effective digital strategies or tactics that have been um, how do you call this, that brands or people or marketers have been doing since the pandemic started? Have you noticed anything common or different?
Well, the major common thing that these brands have been doing effectively is, going on live. So offering like Facebook Live, even Lazada Live, has been pretty much, let's say, delivered to the expectations, or even sometimes surpasses the expectations for these initiatives, the KPIs, the target output.
Hmm.
And yeah, because the screen time has increased since the pandemic, so everybody's online, and there's no better way to get an engagement from your audience, but rather than doing it, live. So people likes real time engagement with a brand, and they like doing this through these influencers.
Hmm.
Okay, so having strategically selecting key opinion leaders or influencers to do the Facebook live or to do a live event in behalf of that brand,
Hmm.
well, expect that the engagement will spike really high.
It's it's a good thing that you mentioned that though.
Mhm,
I like not really an opposite, but a contrasting opinion about that.
mhm.
Um, because everyone is doing online or live or going live these days, don't you think that if most of us is doing that, don't you think it would be harder? I would like to think it would be harder for, let's say, if I am a brand in a certain industry, it will be harder for me to reach out to an audience if, let's say, yeah, I'm live, but my competitors are also doing the same thing, like not really the same program probably, or topic probably, or time slot, but they're also doing the same, let's say, going online, doing live thing. And if they have a better budget than I do, then they might have more guests, more relevant guests to get on board. So wouldn't that be still another traditional marketing scenario again? What do you think?
Well,
How will I capture my audience if everyone is doing the same thing that I'm doing now?
mhm. Well, I wouldn't think that it would become, somehow like traditional
Mhm.
virtually, but because I would say that it would all boil down on what your sustaining efforts would be. So after conducting the live initiative, then how can you sustain that momentum with your audience? How can you sustain that engagement with your audience? So you will still be coming up with additional materials, like perhaps from this live material, you will curate it down to
Mm,
snackable content,
good.
just to, yeah, those are the common strategies that are being applied by brands. But then it's all about how do you get to sustain it. So which is why when we provide campaigns or initiatives for our clients, is we make it a point that we try to accommodate at least three phases. That would be the teaser, the launching, and the sustaining phase.
Oh,
And the sustaining phase should always be there. There's no reason for you to not sustain those efforts that you have initially conducted, or yeah, prior conducted.
Oh, you mentioned about pre-launch, the launch, and the sustaining, right? The stage.
Yeah.
Is this also going to work for small businesses or local businesses who are on tight budget? Can they do this?
Well, I would always say that with digital, there's always a way. You know, if there's a client that would come up to me and say, Steph, I'd like to do this, but I don't have the budget for it. Or
Mhm,
Steph, I would like to reach this number of engagement, but I don't have the budget for it. Then let's make ends meet halfway. Let's say, for example, okay, we can achieve this, but this will be the estimated duration for it, for us to achieve this number that you want. Okay, or there are a lot of tools online that we can use.
mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools online that we can use, and if we don't have any budget to get the paid subscription, then we'll be creating tons of emails just to avail of the free trial. There's always a way. There's always a way. I never say no to a client whenever they have an idea in mind, or
Mhm,
if there's an event that they would like to launch. I
mhm.
would have What I would always do is to make sure that I get to exhaust all possible ideas, all possible platforms, all possible strategies I see as applicable just to achieve that objective that they want to achieve for the certain campaign.
Steph, can you indulge me with a little role play? It's just a simple
Mhm.
role play, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
For example, I'm going to start a business. Let's say just a simple business, like say I do soap, like organic soap. I want
Mhm.
to market this business and would like to have a sustainable, of course, a sustainable marketing strategy, digital marketing strategy, or whatever strategy that you can suggest I do. Can you give me like it's just an initial um,
Mhm.
from start to finish. Um,
Mhm.
strategies would you recommend that I do?
Well, first and foremost, for the back end, I would have to make sure that we have all the materials that we'll be needing. For, let's say, since you're starting business, the best way to go is through social media marketing,
So,
right? So, how do we get to do this social media marketing if we do not have any materials? So, we have to gather like photo shoots,
mhm,
create rich media, videos, animated materials.
mhm.
And given with the pandemic, social distancing, so how do we get around with the idea of creating a video? Then maybe, perhaps still photos may do, just make it a little bit more animated. Or there are a lot of other tools that we can create, like even vector images to
Mhm.
make to just get the message out at first. So identifying the unique selling proposition, what makes the product different, what makes your service different, and
Okay.
then work on that. Yeah, work on that, making a point that the language, the tone, the feel of the whole marketing, of the whole communication strategy is something that your target audience would like to read and would like to see. So after getting all these materials, now is we create the strategy for social media marketing.
Okay.
So identifying which platforms or which social media platforms are your target audience active on. If you're targeting like Gen Zs, usually yung mga vain, di ba? So
Uh,
these are the vain market. Okay, they always have to look good. They want to look appealing,
yeah.
right? Pleasing with their social media content. So I would say maybe, yeah, we would have TikTok, we would have Facebook, and Instagram. Perhaps, it may be just like maybe as simple as cross posting on Instagram. Twitter, well, no, because Twitter is more for conversations, not really for pushing for products, but more of customer servicing. So maybe that will come on the latter phase, but not during the phase.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So after creating your content plan, aligning with your content buckets or with the messaging pillars or insights that
Mhm.
you were able to gather, then I would say, I would first explore which would be the best time to post on that social media platform, because it may be, if you're just a new business and the marketer that you've hired this is not really that familiar with the market just yet,
Yeah.
then yeah, I would say, just safe to say, I will start my posting or publishing content on social media perhaps around 11 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Okay.
Because right now that's what's trending, where people are active on their social media accounts. And then, given that the client has minimal budget, or let's say close to no budget at all for advertising,
Yeah.
then I would do a little bit of link building. Perhaps identify these communities, or yeah, this specific niche on of people who would like this to be discussing about skincare. Or maybe we can also target, uh, let's say, working professionals or moms, even mothers,
True.
yeah, the young market, because I've been seeing that a lot in mom communities. A lot of these mothers would be asking about skincare. So maybe I would be joining those communities, and I would be like sharing a bit of my experience with this product.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get to feel about the product? And then you'll be surprised that there will be a lot. Let's say, focusing on the community. You'll be surprised how engaging these mom communities are.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will be asking you about it. Where did you get it? How can they avail of it? And then, as simply as sharing the fan page. Oh, hi, mommy. You can find the product at this page. This is where I got it. Or even, if you don't also have the budget for influencers, perhaps you can tap. There are nano influencers, meaning influencers with like 1,000 to about 10,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of these nano influencers would like to get paid. Others are still building your portfolio, building their following. So maybe an X deal will do. You just give them a sample of a package of your product,
Uh-huh.
right? So product sampling for them to experience it, and then just ask them if it's possible that they can share it on their social media assets. And yes, influencers has always been the way I see it, because I've been working a lot of times with influencers. They're usually incorporated with the strategies that we provide with our clients.
Mm-hmm.
It has been working really good. Really, it has been delivering a lot, especially if you want to achieve that word of mouth. So the thought leadership of these influencers has been creating impact on their followers, and in that way, having their followers, we also get to reach or tap these following groups of these influencers. Then the market continues to grow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So yeah, it's quite vague, but it's particularly identifying first who your audience is or are, and what platforms are they active on.
Mm-hmm.
Then create your presence on these platforms. Establish that presence for now. And if there's always, I would always go, if there's no budget with the client or for the client, from the client, I would always run to link building. Link building has always been my go-to.
This is actually interesting. This is good stuff you're sharing here,
Mhm.
Steph. If someone is listening to this, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people right now who's just who are just thinking of what business to start, and if they will start their own business, how can they market it? So and all these kind of things. And what you're actually sharing, they might be not as detailed because we can't really know, as you mentioned, about the materials. We don't know what materials they can provide, what they
Yes.
time they can what time they can allot for, let's say, link building or for tapping influencers, or whether nano or the micro or the top influencers. So it would really vary, but the whole idea is really there. I mean, the context of what you're saying is actually already solid for someone to start marketing their business, even if they're just starting. This is actually good. This is actually good stuff. Thank you for sharing this. And I would like to say I agree. I mean I can agree. I would agree with your strategies, and yeah, they would really work. And link building, I don't really have that as I wasn't really thinking about that way, like link building, but I
Mm-hmm.
do agree with you in terms of being engaged in the community or communities that are relevant to your business to engage
Mm-hmm.
these possible customers, which is actually powerful, and I agree with that. Well, I know you need to be somewhere so I really appreciate this. Really, genuinely appreciate this because I've been asked about this. The role play I did with you
Yeah.
that you just did for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been
Mm-hmm.
a lot about these things, and it's really good to just you know what try this, listen to this person here, or just follow what this person is saying, and then you'll be in good hands or something. Or you'll have a good start in terms of marketing your product, even if you're just starting. So
Mm-hmm.
I can reference this conversation to whoever will be asking the similar question. Anyways, thank you so much, Steph. And for those who want to get in touch with you, either talk to you, get your services, how can they reach you?
Well, I would say it would be better to reach me through LinkedIn because that's my only social media platform that is actually open to the public. Um, well, because in Facebook, I don't always get to check, the message request. And well, if ever they would also like to reach out to me, on a more personal note, maybe they can, yeah, reach out to you, and then you can just give them my details. So
All right,
more privacy, yeah, privacy concerns. I do not really give out my contact details directly.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
so I would just say LinkedIn, via LinkedIn. They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. They can look for me, Steph, Steff, Francisco.
So that wraps up our show. That's it for now, and thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you'll join me again next time here on Digitally Matters. This has been Ray Baguio, and until next time, ciao.